Hello guys, my name is Amit Sani and I welcome you on this daily Hindu analysis video. In the morning these videos come, in the evening in the MCQ lessons they come. So today the newspaper is totally off and it's holiday. Happy Dussehra to all of you, and try to win your own lacks, your own troubles, and biggest fight you need to win over is within you. Means the apathy, ignorance, lack of focus, lack of consistency, lack of interest, and not able to focus on your desired goal, and remaining positive. These are the challenges that you need to win over. So take a pledge if you can and try these things and keep trying. Practice makes a man perfect. So that's why this day is important, 8th of October, and these paid courses are available, and you can call on those given numbers. All the queries will be solved there. Very important courses by Dr. Gaurav Garg sir, Prashant Dhawan sir, and Mahipal Singh sir, and all important exam oriented videos are coming, and very important these will be. Pocket News app is trending on Google Play. You can download that regarding these courses. The descriptions are given below, and you can call on these numbers, and the chat section is available here, and the PDF you will get here on this group. And please join the Telegram channel also, because there I'm able to upload these PDFs. For the last 4 days I'm not able to upload these PDFs on Facebook group. I don't know what is the reason, but that problem remains till now. So on Telegram these all PDFs are available, and you can follow me on Instagram too. Let's start the lesson. Some important data I have collected from PIB source from the Hindu website there, and some data which appeared yesterday, and some other sources. So from exam point of view these are important, so we will take that. India gets first tranche of Swiss account details under automatic exchange framework. You see, important thing will be here, that black money issue. So important for GS paper 2 and 3. We know we have talked a lot about this issue, and not much is done till date on that issue, but this process is going on, and we have done an important agreement also for this issue with OECD and all, and that CRS norms, the common reporting standard CRS, that we are following, and that issue was actually developed by OECD, where we are not a member. The most developed countries are the members, and they developed this global reporting standard. Reporting regarding what? Regarding the information, the financial information, because MNCs are there, tax compliance issues are there. So a lot of black money is involved in all these processes, and the people who are earning black money and they do not pay taxes in their respective countries, they park this money in these Swiss bank accounts. So Switzerland's one huge income source is that money, because the people who park that money, they pay some amount to keep that safe. These banks, they do not pay any interest there. Okay, so that's really an important issue. So first time India has received details from Switzerland under the AEOI framework. This AEOI framework, automatic exchange of information, that framework was developed with the lines of CRS only, common reporting standards, and CRS imposes obligations on financial institutions to reveal all these informations and follow all these compliances. And you can see there is a portal also for this automatic exchange of information, and the issue remains the same, that smooth collection of the data and the right information exchange, because the information is the most important thing in these issues, where people take advantage of loopholes. These MNCs, they take advantage of loopholes, and the black money is diverted into a lot of sources. Means even the black money is diverted into terror financing and some other destructive issues too. So that's why we all know the FATF framework is also there, but that's something different, and the main issue there is the terror financing and the money laundering issue. Here black money is only the main thing, and the information exchange, and for that this AEOI framework is made for that, and India is gonna get the first information regarding that. So this issue is going on for years now, and this CRS they may ask you about, and this is mentioned here. India too signed a multilateral agreement to transfer personal and account information of another country's citizens to their respective tax authorities. Means some people are living in India, who belong to some other countries and their tax authorities are different, and some people are living there in those countries, and for them India is the homeland, and there these tax compliances will be necessary. So all that information exchange will be important here. Okay, these things are given as these standards, common reporting standards. They consist of following 4 key parts, and the important part is competent authority agreement, which is signed by countries. Okay, and there is an international legal framework also. So they may ask you, is there any legal framework? Yes, it is, and that is being followed by these countries. Okay, and this issue started with an important act in USA. It's a federal act, and it is called Foreign Account Tax Compliance Act. They brought it in 2010 after the 2008 crisis, and this was the US version. Then OECD went for an international version of it, and that is CRS. Okay, so that's very, very important. So that's why the FATCA is also important, and the CRS is extremely relevant here. So these both are mentioned, and the difference is also mentioned. UPSC may ask you about these things. Issue is important for prelims and mains both. Okay, because the details and the facts will be making your answer very rich. Now, extremely international relations topic that is there on the news for 2-3 days: Turkey-US issue and the Syrian crisis. We all know that Trump announced that we will withdraw these troops from all the controversial places where America is involved. But for Afghanistan, this thing is not possible till date. Even in Syria, this thing is not possible. And some thousand troops, they still remain there. Now, the main issue of tackling the ISIS crisis, and America targeted the Syrian government, the Bashar al-Assad government, and America supported the rebels there, rebels for the government, and Kurds were there. First we look at the world map. Kurds are a ethnic group, as I have told you about them earlier also in much detail, but again I'm telling you, Kurds are a ethnic group which are present in this region of Turkey, the southeast region, and northern part of Iran, and northern part of Iraq, and some part of Syria. So this is the important Kurds land. So officially it is not a separate region or country, but these people, they are in much dominance in these areas. Now Kurds forces, they are important groups, and you may say the weapons and all these things were made available to them by Americans, and these Kurds forces, they joined hands, and these Kurds were the biggest and mighty force against ISIS extremists. So America could never win this war without the help of Kurds. Okay, so Kurds are extremely important, and we had discussed an important article for that issue, and there it was mentioned that we must take concern of these Kurds, and these one did a respectable job there. Without their help, America could not do that. So this is the region of Turkey also. In southeast region in Turkey, Kurds are present, but for Turkish government and Mr. Erdogan, who is the president there, he declared these groups as terrorist groups. So for Turkey, these are terrorist groups, although they did a very important thing in tackling the ISIS menace there, but Turkey considers them as terrorists. Till date, this is the opinion there, and now the things, they have gone so far that Turkey wanna attack these Kurd groups. Why? Because America recently announced that we will pull out our forces from there. Around 1,000 soldiers remain there on the northern Syrian border, and from there they are gonna withdraw. Why? Because the relations between Turkey and America, they are very, very sour now. Since Trump came, these issues are becoming very, very problematic, and instead of being these two countries, Turkey and America, they both are NATO allies, but the relations are very sour. And recently Turkey bought that S-400 missile defense system from Russia. Then also this issue became very, very troublesome between these two countries, and Erdogan consistently is making jibes and talking very negatively against Trump, and Trump is also threatening Turkey day by day. And last year they imposed some tariffs on Turkey on some steel and aluminum products, and then also this economic pressure was there on Turkey, and due to some problems in these businesses, Turkey made many negative statements against the Trump administration. So Erdogan openly said that go away from here, we do not want you in this region, and this is our region, we will tackle our problems. And the way you have given confidence to these Kurds, who are the terrorists for us, and we have had a lot in the past around the city of Ankara and other areas from these Kurds, and they were a huge problem for Turkey. So you have bolstered them, you have given them confidence, you have trained them, you have given them weapons, and now it's a huge problem for us. So we are certainly going to attack them. You just leave from here and we will tackle the situation. So these Kurds actually are finding it very difficult now. Why? Because in this region, this is extremely sensitive region, and Turkish forces are ready to attack these Kurds. And Kurds are maintaining important camps there of these prisoners, which they captured from this war of ISIS, and many of the prisoners belong to these ISIS fighting groups, and their families, their kids, their wives, they're also remaining there as prisoners. So what is going to be the fate of those prisoners, and are they going to be free? And there are many sleeper cells who are working to release or to make them free, these prisoners. And that Kurdistan is not a country, so they do not have that mighty force. So that thing is haunting them, and they are saying that America has betrayed us. So in a stern voice, they are talking against America now, and Turkey is already talking against America now. And America now announces that we will crush Turkey in all the economic senses, and we will destroy the economy of Turkey there if they are gonna create disturbances in the region, if they are gonna attack Kurds there. So officially America is saying that we are with you Kurds, but the kind of step that they have taken, that is totally against the Kurds existence there. So this is how the situation is unfolding, and you must see in this region, this is January 2019 situation. The blue ones are the Syrian government, jihadists and Syrian rebels are concentrated in the western region there, and this is the border of Turkey, this is Mediterranean Sea here, this is the country of Lebanon, and this is Jordan, this is Iraq. So the map is very important here. Okay, and here till here this is Iraq, and it is Turkey till here. Kurds, they are concentrated in this northern Syrian region, and they are having some dominance there, but now the problems are rising. Here these are the Iraqi forces, and these are the Turkish backed Syrian rebels, and other Turkish military and all. So this is how the division is there of the power in this region. But situations are gonna change, and the decision by Americans, that is certainly gonna disturb this region again, because right now for the last 1.5 year around, situations are under control, and even the last areas, those were captured by these Kurdish forces only. And Americans had this advantage there, that they control the ISIS forces and all. So they trained and they gave weapons to these Kurds, and the Kurds fought this war, and they lost thousands of their people. But now they feel extremely betrayed by America. So that's the situation. And here this issue is very important for GS paper 2. It's an extremely relevant issue in the world geopolitics, and the situation in the Middle East is extremely relevant here. Okay, because Turkey was a NATO ally. Now the conditions are changing, and it is all due to the decision making of Trump administration, and the kind of behavior and the kind of language that Trump uses. And because Turkey is a Muslim country, that's why Trump has this kind of a specific behavior. So all these things are contributory to a big time confusion in this region. And these Syrian Kurdish fighters, or they are called as Syrian Democratic Forces, they warned America that everything that we achieve here, that will be overturned. And in a strongly worded statement, they accused Washington of failing to abide by its commitments to key allies, because these were the allies of America, and now they are leaving them alone in this region. So that's extremely problematic here. So let us see how the situation unfolds. And this issue was there in the Hindu, and this is something very problematic going on in this region. And you see, they may ask you about these issues. This is the Syrian border here, Tal Abyad and Ras Al Ain, these are two towns, and the border which is located between these towns, that is the most controversial area. They created a security region in this area where all these camps and all these are present, and Turkey actually cooperated in a manner in this region. But now, after the American withdrawal, there can be a very problematic situation. Okay, so this security zone is now going to be a sensitive region. Okay, and the geography is extremely important. UPSC many times has asked questions from this area, and the borders are complicated, and some controversial areas like Golan Heights. You see, this is Syria, and this was the part of Syria, the Golan Heights, but it is captured by Israel, and it still remains with Israel and administered by it, but it was the region of Syria and near the Damascus city. So Damascus is the capital, Aleppo is the important city, and this is Raqqa city, which was totally devastated by ISIS forces, and just north through it, this Tal Abyad and Ras Al Ain regions are there. And in Turkey, these are the Kurdish inhabited areas. So borders are important, and the issue is also extremely important. White House in its statement was totally silent on the fate of Kurds. So what's going to happen, we will have to see. But certainly America is trying to put some cold drops on this situation, and they are formally sympathizing with Quds forces, but actually in the practical sense, the kind of decision that they have taken, that is going to be devastating for Kurdish forces, because these are declared as a terrorist by Turkey. So here this whole issue is explained by me. The text is given, and it was there in the Hindu newspaper 2 days back, and this is the statement that Trump makes now, that Trump threatens to destroy and obliterate Turkey's economy over Syria. Over the Syrian situation, they will destroy Turkey's economy. This is something said by Mr. Trump. And we have to look at it, his boasting statement here. If Turkey does anything that I, in my great and unmatched wisdom, consider to be off limits, I will totally destroy and obliterate the economy of Turkey. I have done before, and Trump tweets in this way. So his language is always like an authoritarian, and he assumes that all the power is in my hand, and the kind of language he uses, that's really, you may say, problematic for countries, and it looks funny also, because the kind of personality he is and the kind of statements he makes, that's really bizarre, because it is not a language of a kind of a very responsible person sitting on the seat of American president, but he makes these kind of statements, and he never skips these kind of glorious words within his tweets. So apne miyan mithu banne mein he is always great. Turkey's lira is also mentioned here. Turkey's lira slid more than 2% to its lowest levels in more than a month against the dollar. So Turkey is already struggling, and investors are also being skeptical about the Turkish situation there. But Erdogan is also not compromising in this situation, and making these negative statements consistently against Trump. So we have to see what happens there. And about the duties, as I told you, Turkish steel and aluminium, for these products, America imposed tariffs in the past, and they may do more than that. That is something which is very clear here. So this situation is very, very tricky, and what's going to happen, we will have to see. Important for GS paper 2. For the mains and for the prelims, these situations are important, and the context is extremely relevant. The geography of the region is very, very relevant there. Now, Ministry of Textile, this information I have taken from PIB data. India announces TAP, the Technical Assistance Program, for 5 more African countries on World Cotton Day. You see, for this issue, I explained to you in much detail when I told you that these 4 countries, African countries, which are called Cotton 4, Benin, Burkina Faso, Chad and Mali. These 4 ones, they made a request to UN that declare 7th October as World Cotton Day. And UN has accepted this request. And for India, this is a very important context, because we are one of the biggest country in terms of cotton. We are the 2nd largest producer of cotton and consumer too. And World Cotton Day has extreme relevance and importance for us. So we we have joined this event, and Smriti Zubin Irani, she announced about this issue. You see, since 2012 to 18, we were running an important technical assistance program for 6 countries: Benin, Burkina Faso, Chad, Malawi, Nigeria, and Uganda. Now 5 additional countries will also be there, where we will extend this technical assistance program for these countries. We have all the expertise, we have all the solutions, we have all the knowledge there for their learning purpose, and we can help them a lot. And this issue, World Cotton Day, was organized by WTO in Geneva, Switzerland, and we to mark this celebration of the event, we presented and gifted a replica of Mahatma Gandhi's charkha to the WTO there. So again, important evidence that we do not have anything else than Gandhi to represent globally. But what's happening in India regarding Gandhi, we all know about that. What kind of information we have spread, what kind of mindset we have created, especially for the youth, against Gandhi, and the kind of agenda which is running in this country to destroy Gandhi and its philosophy and its importance. And on the birth anniversary of Gandhi, the kind of hashtag which was spreading that Godse Amar Rahe and all. So this is all a kind of a hypocritical situation, and the country which has given this icon, the icon of peace, Mr. Gandhi, to this world, and the world knows more about Gandhi than they know about India. In the same country, this kind of hashtag is running, and this kind of agenda is going on. So that is really unfortunate. And as I always say, that on every international platform, first thing that we will propose, that is Gandhi's books, Gandhi's ideology, Gandhi's learning, Gandhi's issues. And our Prime Minister wrote an important article on in New York Times on 2nd October on the 150th birth anniversary of Gandhi. But what was trending in Indian social media? Godse Amar Rahe. Really a shameful situation. Next issue from Ministry of Shipping, a extremely relevant issue. What is that? It is regarding the standard operating procedure and the MOUs which are signed between India and Bangladesh. Sheikh Hasina was on official visit to India, and regarding this MOU, if I tell you it, this was the issue going on since 2015, where for the first time we finalized this agreement regarding the Chattogram and Mongla ports of Bangladesh. For what? For the issue of this transit that we wanted through Bangladesh, because let's see the map. This is West Bengal, and if we want the access to northeast, then we will have to go through this Chicken's Neck area, and that's a problematic journey. It's a long journey, and the distance is in thousands. But if we can get access through Bangladesh and the relations are good, then we can have a very easy access through Bangladesh and through this Tripura region, and we can go to Mizoram, Manipur, Assam, Meghalaya very easily from this region. So Mongla port is present here, Chattogram port is present here, and these all areas across the borders are extremely important. So we have signed this MOU, and 8 important routes are now opened. Let's see Chattogram port, Mongla port to Agartala. Agartala is here, the capital of Tripura, and Akhura is just across the border. So through Akhura, via Akhura, this port and this route will be opened, and Chattogram port, Mongla port to Dauki. Dauki is there in Meghalaya, and Tambel is just across the border. So that will be working. Sutarkandi is there in Assam, and the area in Bangladesh across the border is Shiola. So through Shiola, this will be working, and Mongla port, Chattogram port will be available for them. And Srimantapur again is in Tripura, and the area across the border is Bibir Bazaar in Bangladesh. So these all will be opened, and please look for the integrated check post also on the border of India and Bangladesh. India and Bangladesh have the longest border, more than 4,000 kilometers, the longest one for all our neighbors. And this agreement is going to be very, very important. It was finalized in 2015, and in 18 we did another MOU for that. And now this SOP will open 8 routes to northeast states through Bangladesh. So that issue was there in PIB, very important issue. These agreements and these areas are very, very important for the geography students. This is the gold, you may say, because certainly it will be asked. Okay. Next issue, Mamallapuram's Chinese links set to give a flip to Modi-Xi summit. The informal summit is going to happen, second summit after Wuhan, and I explained to you in an article that it has a cultural significance. And in the ancient times, we had these links. The Pallava dynasty was very much important. In the picture, you see the Mahabalipuram's shore temple there, and Britishers called them some pagodas, and very important these areas are, and the glorious past of Pallavas, which had links with Chinese. So a lot of evidences are given in this data. Here, the Seldon wares, the first one, in the 2nd century, these things were present there, and they tell us that we had linkages, means the Pallavas had linkages with Chinese people there. And Chinese coins were also found in Tamil Nadu region. And Pattinapalai is an important Tamil work after the Sangam phase. And that tells about the anchorage of Chinese ship on the eastern coast of ancient Tamil Nadu. So look for the ancient ports there. Okay, this question is also very, very important, and it was asked 2 years back. So that's important. And this Pattinapalai is authored by Uruthirar Kannanar, and the work refers to a ship called Tungunavi in Tamil, and the name in Chinese is Zunk. So that's actually the Chinese vessel Zunk that they're talking about. And another Chinese text called Han Annals. Annals means Han dynasty was there, and these are the important annual documents, annals, and they tell about the Tamil country too. Emperor V talks about the Tamil region, and he refers Kanchipuram to Huangchi. So Huangchi is nothing else than Kanchipuram, and he sent presents to the ruler of Kanchipuram at that time. He points out in that document. And another evidence is Vayalur inscription. Vayalur inscriptions, they are in the same Tamil language, and they tell about the Pallavas and the envoys they sent to China there. So that's really important. And we all know about Huensang. Huensang came in India in 7th century AD. So he visited Kanchipuram too, and Kanchipuram at that time was an important flourishing Buddhist center. So these Buddhist and Jainism centers in South India, these are extremely important. So please collect all the information regarding that, and UPSC focuses on these data a lot, and especially on Buddhism. So Kanchipuram was referred to as Kadiga, which meant university at that time, so it was a university also. And all these things are important evidences and the cultural linkages between the Indians and Chinese at that time. So this iconic venue which is sorted here, and that is chosen for this important informal meeting between Indian and Chinese, these are important. So they may ask you in the prelims a lot, and in the mains also you can write these points if you remember some of them. Next, a data by UNDP India. In that report called Corporate Engagement in Women's Economic Empowerment, they are talking about a hopeless situation, and somehow this needs a lot of improvement. It talks about the gender inequality there in the corporate jobs, and it says that only 4% of the CSR funds, they are spent on women's economic empowerment. CSR funds, we all know that these are the mandatory requirements under the Companies Act 2013, and on an average for last 3 years of their net profit, and 2% of that profit they need to spend on CSR activities, and that is a mandatory condition. Okay, and conditions are also given that which are the companies which will be coming under this purview, their revenues, their net profits, and their total value. That these are the parameters to choose these companies. Not all of them are following the CSR norms. Okay, so these top 100 firms which are listed on the Bombay Stock Exchange, they spend only 4% of their total expenditure on CSR activity on the women's empowerment. That shows a clear lack of focus and the ignorant behavior regarding the female employment and empowerment there. Already there is a situation that the the contribution of females in the labor force, that is declining with a very fast pace, and that's why it's a very concerning situation where across the world the employment for women, that is rising, and the equality is rising, but here in India we are losing a lot of things, and whatever engagement which is there, the employment which is available for females, there are typical problems like in the starting they get some support, they get some trainings, and some support is available in the starting phase, but throughout the entire life cycle there is lack of focus and lack of support during the later stages. So a lot of dropouts are there in the case of females employment. Many problems like the maternity leaves and all, and other issues, they are always argued in the favor of not including females, and they always talk about the efficiency, that they always talk about the additional advantages with the male workers, but they never mention that female workers are way more sincere, way more punctual, and way more output giving. But still this situation is there, and we have all the evidences in the favor of female employment, that why this equality must be there, and they are way more efficient than the male counterparts, and they are never involved in too much disturbance in the company's politics or any kind of disturbance, these strikes and all. They are not involved in these kind of things normally, so they are way more output giving employees for these companies, but still the lack is there. So we have to work for those things, and so these points you can write in the mains examination and in the gender equality essay also. These are extremely important issues. The points like the data shows that women comprised less than 10% of the permanent workforce of the majority of the Bombay Stock Exchange listed 100 companies. So these are concerning issues, and we have to take care of these things legally and in a legislative manner. Otherwise these things will not be managed, and in a patriarchal society, in a conservative society, we are moving backwards in some senses, and here this thing needs a lot of improvement. So this is all for today. We will meet again tomorrow, and thanks a lot. Keep watching. It was Amit Sani. Do prepare about the RA forest issues and other important facts. I will ask many questions on that in the evening session. So thanks a lot. Keep watching. It was Amit Sani.